I'm going to introduce some special guests. And first I'm going to start with Terry Manuel, who is the Commissioner of the Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives and our state librarian, and one of the few people that's worked here longer than I have. So Terry.
Just want to share a couple of things with you. 50 years ago, if my math is correct, was 1969. In 1969, had some interesting things going on. Gas was 35 cents a gallon. That would still be good. The top TV shows in 1969, Gomer Pyle, Bonanza, and Mayberry, RFD. All three are great shows. I still like to watch them. I can find them on television. There were also some firsts that year, which you may or may not remember. That was the year we had the first man on the moon. That was the first year that a little store opened up you may have heard of called Walmart. And that was also a year that something called ARPANET started. Now, you probably never heard of ARPANET, but it later became perhaps bigger than Walmart. It's called the Internet. And also that year was when the Kentucky Talking Book Library started. And the Kentucky Talking Book Library is committed to providing services to the citizens of Kentucky who can't use regular materials because of physical or visual impairment. And they have done an absolutely great job in the last 50 years. And they will, I'm sure, continue doing a tremendous job. They're incredibly dedicated to what they do and to their clientele. They don't work alone. I do want to mention some people who support them. They're probably going to miss a bunch of people, but it's a very short list. The National Library Service supports the Kentucky Book Library. The Cabinet, which is what we call it around here. It's the Education and Workforce Development Cabinet, which is what we belong to, provides support for the Talking Book Library. The legislature and the Office of the Governor. All these provide considerable support to the Talking Book Library and deserve our thanks for what they do for us and for you. But lastly, I want to say that the people who really make the Talking Book Library happen is the staff of the Talking Book Library. And so I want to thank Barbara and all the staff of the Talking Book Library, but I especially want to thank all the volunteers who have worked there in the past and work there in the present. They are what makes the Talking Book Library roll and supplies you all with service. So keep up the great work, and thank you all.